December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
In his address to the nation, President Franklin Delano Roosevelt's speech on December 8, 1941, became the catalyst for Congress to initiate a declaration of war, officially beginning the U.S. involvement in World War II. We honor that day of infamy with ceremonies and tributes to our Pearl Harbor survivors, who now are in their 100s.
In 1940, the Air Force set up a recruiting office in my hometown. I was 20 years old. It was 10 o'clock in the morning, and the recruiter said, "Be back here at 2 o'clock, and you're on your way." I was upstairs to get ready to go down to breakfast, and when the bomb hit, we knew that it was a Japanese attack. So we were scrambling to come down a stairway, maybe it was 12 foot wide. While I was coming down the hallway, a guy was kneeling. And I said to him, "Too late to pray." NGOs had wives and children there, and the families, and so that's where we were trying to stay under protection.
Just before 8 a.m. Pacific time, the first bombs descended upon Pearl Harbor.
Our commanding officer of the Wheeler Field refused to bring the planes in from Saturday night before December 7th. They come down the street, and the pilot would be firing his guns out in the front. B-17 were coming from the States into Hawaii. Same time the Japanese were going to attack. So the radar people thought that the B-17 were on the radar also, rather than the Japanese. When we were going back to the field and the B-17 couldn't land in Hickam Field, which is the bomber field, they were trying to land at Wheeler Field, and by that time the machine gunners from Schofield, the Army, was on our field. They were shooting at our own planes. We were all going back to the airfield to try to recover whatever we could put together.
Overall, about 2,400 servicemen were killed. 1,177 of them were Marines and sailors aboard the USS Arizona. To this day, we observe Pearl Harbor Day on December 7th to remember and honor the veterans that put everything on the line for our freedom. The attacks on Pearl Harbor can teach current and future generations the importance of our history and military service to our country.
Well, the number one lesson we have to understand is we have to get along together. So when you turn on our TV, you get war, not peace. If we got more peace, we'd be better off.
Every year, Ed continues to share his story of service and heroism with students, veterans, and citizens.
I'm just an ordinary person. Did what he had to do when it had to be done.
At Honoring America's Veterans, we salute our veterans and their loved ones by thanking, honoring, and acknowledging them for their service and patriotism to our country.